To say to you is I don't know why short men getting no love. I hear it all the time. Women are saying I don't deal with men over 6 feet. That's under 6 feet. You don't even know this guy.
I think it's very rich coming from you, sir.
What do you mean by that?
How tall are you?
Well, I'm 6'2", but I'm not talking. Hello, welcome to another episode of Love,
Here
Life,
we
and
are
Luggage.
once again.
I'm Tim.
I'm Eulica.
And listen, first, before we even get started, we recognize that we have a certain demographic of viewers out there between the ages of 24 and 44 that are watching us, even though we're kind of slated for individuals over 50. We want to know that we see you, and we have a special message for you at the end of the podcast. To stay tuned.
Please stay tuned.
Please stay tuned.
Thanks for showing us the love.
And we appreciate it. All right, so you ready to get into this?
So let's talk about the hypocrisy that we were just discussing.
Hypocrisy.
So we're talking about height.
Yeah, so we're starting a whole series of now on the podcast, a series of what Black men want to know about Black women, questions they may always wanted to know. They have questions about things they want to know about women, just in general. And one of the topics that came up, or one of the questions, one of the most asked question is, why are women not showing any love for men under 6 feet? Why is that 6 feet or over height requirement, a big deal for women?
So it is a height requirement at times. And I feel like I'm on the hot seat because I feel like I have to speak and defend all women.
Yes. Yes, you are a woman. You are.
I'm trying to be noble. This is tough.
Well, this is what men want to know, especially in our culture. They want to know what's the height thing. What's the deal with that?
So this series, as Tim mentioned, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be tough on us women, but we are here for the challenge. Ladies, I need your help. So in the comments, I need you to give your opinions as well, so they don't think it's just me talking. So this today's episode is going to be broken up into two parts, and the first part is why do women prefer tall men?
That's the question. That's the question that a lot of height challenged men want to know. I mean, that's not the problem I have, but I'm representing the men today, and so I have some questions for you. Let's get into it. First of all, why is height such a big requirement for women in order to even date them? You guys won't even let a man get past hello, hi, how you doing? If you see the height, you just, I'm not interested. What is the deal? I see reality shows like this, Pop the Balloon. The first thing they be like is, I didn't choose him. I popped his balloon because he's short.
Well, I'm going to have some notes because I really had to work very hard on this episode. So it's not probably the best answers or what you want to hear, but it's probably the truth.
Okay.
The first reason is about protection and physical presence. That many women prefer men that are taller than them.
Okay.
My dad was taller than me. I don't know if that's daddy issues. You can get into a whole thing on that.
Okay.
But it's just physical presence communicates something. It might not, and I don't want to throw it off on men, but it might not be any different than you have physical things that you prefer. I mean, that's the only kind of woman you choose, but certain women attract your attention.
Sure. I mean, we all have preferences, and that's very true. I like a more curvaceous woman, but this height thing is very pervasive in especially in our community, and I just feel like, no pun intended, I just feel like short men are getting the short end of the stick here. Before you even know who they are, before you even know their character, you've already discounted them because they don't reach a certain height.
I agree, and it's so I'm going to give you the reasons. I have no long dissertation
Okay.
because it is what it is, but
Mhm.
I'll share more on that. So we feel protected. It's a physical presence. It doesn't mean I have dated shorter men.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I know we've had some conversations. I'm not going to put you out on blast, but I'm okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
So
ahead. Give me this.
my most long term relationships were men around the 6 foot arena.
Mhm.
But I have dated, so I did not turn people down because they are shorter.
Okay.
Completely. It just happened that those people did not work out. So number
Okay.
two is confidence and social status. This height is often associated with confidence. Even and I'm sorry to bring up the patriarchal society. Men have set standards for men on what's acceptable, what's strong, what kind of emotion you can show. I would just say, think about presidents of the United States. How many short presidents are there? Think
Mhm.
about CEOs of companies. How many short men? Do you think this is an accident? You don't think there's any smart short men who, So I think that certain preference, even like for political people, you're presenting them for a vote or whatever. I think physical stature has and I'm just saying women are no different.
You're saying that women equate a man's height to his level of confidence,
Confidence,
but that's how he
success.
was born.
Well, we were born many ways,
So you're
but
saying a short man has no confidence?
no, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Help me, ladies.
Okay.
Ladies, I need your
Okay. I'm
help.
gonna let you finish. These are just
So,
questions that
but
men want to know.
I'm just saying we are part of the same society,
Yeah.
and we are responding to what has been presented to us as to what's acceptable.
Okay.
And the next one is visual chemistry.
Okay.
Women like feeling small and dainty. I like, and I've told you this before, I like when you come over and in the kitchen, and when you come into my presence, you block the light. That is just so adorable to me. I'm so sorry. But there's a physical chemistry or like kissing me on the forehead. I'm just saying.
Okay. Let me pivot for a second. So you've gotten to know me over these 4 years. So knowing what you know about me, if I was 5'5", are you saying that I wouldn't have even had a chance?
I think we would have to
I'm
have.
not saying I'm the greatest man alive, but I'm a decent guy. I'm a good guy. I'm a provider. Provide for my family.
I don't think it's right, but I think that certain people, I think the dating pool is where it is because we have prejudged
Mm,
people and not giving men a fair shake.
okay.
And then some of these devils that we have hooked up with have been 6 foot uh,
Demons.
demons. So,
Messed up your credit, messed up your life, destroyed your relationship with your girlfriend, may have dipped into your. I'm not even going. I'm just going to say that you get what you get when you focus on 6 feet. Go ahead.
So the next one I'm gonna give you is cultural conditioning, which is kind of what I have. So as far as like even like Cinderella and Prince Charming.
The movies.
Also think about the little wedding figures on top of
Mm,
the wedding cake. You're not gonna have
yeah.
even though you can't get them custom now. You can get whatever you got going on. So women have been trained since childhood, Barbie and Ken.
And where did that saying come from? Tall, dark, and handsome. Anyway, I mean,
I
that
would
seemed like
imagine from
that's kind of the.
I would imagine from a movie. I would
That's
imagine
kind of
from.
seemed like that's kind of the go-to that all women are looking for.
I
I
would
want somebody
think.
tall, dark, and handsome.
I would think like Hollywood,
Okay.
and just Prince Charming,
Okay.
and normally, and even in movies, like short people are kind of made like the butt of the joke or
Mm.
the sidekick. Like I think about what's the movie with it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Oh,
then
Danny DeVito.
yeah, so he always kind of played this kind of funny character.
Yeah.
And I think it's how we want to be presented. Think about prom pictures. Like you
Oof.
want to be presented next to, and and I have to apologize. I want to apologize to all men. I feel horrible just having this conversation and
Well, we
having
should.
this
This is the conversation black men are wanting to know why
to
women are
have
on this
it.
height thing, and
So I
they don't
think
get
you
this chance.
you're countering a lot, just as women are countering like the kind of this maybe sexual culture. So we have to counter something. And I think that this is the flip side of that.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of conditioned that you want to show up with a tall man. Like if I'm coming to an event, it's just is what it is. But I think we'll talk about what it is. And then physical attraction. Just
So a tall man is just more physically attracted than a shorter guy.
I think so.
So wait a minute.
But there's some men who are too tall. Like I am not attracted to NBA players. I just think they're tall and lanky. They're too tall.
All right. So by your logic, if a tall man just in and of itself is more attracted to you, so I don't judge men by no means, but if the man came in looking like Shabba Ranks or something like that, but he's 6 feet tall, as opposed to a shorter man that's about 5'6", 5'7", and look like Boris Kojo, you're telling me you're going to be more attracted to the heights?
It's
It's
more than one thing. It's kind of like we're not a monolith. It's not just like it just can't just be like with a woman. It just can't just be a beautiful woman. She has to have some other attributes.
Okay.
So it's just physical attraction.
Gotcha.
If you just, it might be the thing that kind of lures you in.
Do you think it's fair if men kind of judge?
Men do that.
Oh, okay.
Not on the same attribute. You can't be. So men are popping the balloon if you say on just a superficial thing. So
you got a good point.
It's just so.
All right.
So that's part one, is the reasons why. And I apologize to all men who, on behalf of all women who have done that. And
but there are some pros and cons to choosing somebody over.
Yes, so there's cons. So I would have to say that the bias is hurting women. It does hurt us from cutting people short, especially when we're saying there's no good men out there. I think we want what we want, and no matter what it looks like. Yeah. So number one con is, you had a question? I feel like I'm on it. Like this must be how people, when they come before Congress and it's like a Senate hearing, I feel like I'm on the hot seat.
Yeah, so I do have a question. So, if that's the standard, it seems like with the vast majority of women that they want someone over 6 feet.
Or at a minimum taller than them.
But I've seen women who the man is just slightly taller, but she won't even go with him because she said, well, I'm going to be taller than him with heels on.
And I would also say there are some men, I've seen this, I can't remember what celebrity, that that some men don't want women taller than them. I remember when I watched, this is years ago, This Is It with Michael Jackson, and they were auditioning the dancers, and the lady said, oh, you can't, I don't know how tall he was. I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", I don't know how tall he was, but the dancer could not be above that height in heels. Because he could not be presented shorter. He wanted to be presented. They wanted him to be presented taller. So sometimes men don't want you towering over them.
But there are some cases, it's a little bit of a double standard, because there's some men, notable men in today's society, who are short, who love dating taller women, model types.
I think
they love to have a model on their arm.
I think that is I think they have to be a confident, self-secure man. So yeah. Okay. So I have notes here because I prepared for this episode. This is very tough.
So we're talking about the cons.
So the limited dating pool. So we did some research. Only 14% of men in the United States of America are above 6 feet tall. Only 14%.
Now think about that number. So in the whole United States of America,
I think we said the average height is like 5'10" something.
5'9", I believe.
Yeah.
So in the whole United States of America, there's only 14% of men in this United States that are over 6 feet.
That would be correct, sir.
And if you're leading with height, how's that work?
You're cutting down a dating pool, and then some of
a whole lot.
So some of our the subsequent videos are going to touch on like the income or whatever. So if you're very prescriptive about, a man can change how much he makes and some other things and even grow emotionally.
Right.
Usually a man cannot change his height unless he puts
So he
some
was
lifts
born.
on.
He can't.
He puts some lifts on, and then you're only gonna get 2 inches or something on that. But so it is good. So hopefully this episode is opening up, our minds to understand why. So I think it's a misnomer for us to say there are no good men.
Yeah.
I think we've been very selective.
Right. If you're only focusing on people over 6 feet, short dudes, I'm here. I'm feeling your
Please,
pain.
please, make a comment about, your thoughts on that and your experiences, because we would like to hear them.
Yes, we want to know, have you had success dating people under 6 feet? And what's your take on that,
And how did the woman treat you? We would like to know.
Yes.
So number 2, the con is we overlook high quality men. We disqualify them because of height.
And that's kind of the point I was getting to. You're not giving the poor guy a chance. This guy can treat you like a queen, possibly worship the ground you walk on, will give you everything your heart's desire, but you're passing him over just because he doesn't reach your height.
It doesn't. So when we say high quality man, we mean like immature, financially stable,
yes.
emotionally mature, relationship ready. So that man might meet those things, but we're cutting them off. Even in the dating app where we might be I set my filter kind of high.
And the dating app is not helping the short fellas either, because women can specify.
That's why I filtered out short men most of the time.
Men over 6 feet.
Some people did not put their correct height. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because they don't have a chance. So why wouldn't they lie? But then they're hoping that their charisma can account for something. So when they do finally meet you, maybe you'll overlook the height thing. But a lot of times,
I think they do have to overcome it many times.
So imagine then for a second how a short man must feel in the dating scene when the vast majority of the women are telling them,
Tim, I already feel horrible.
Yeah, and you should feel horrible. All you women out there should feel horrible. You're not giving short men.
Look at the next point on the screen. Shallow first impressions. So focus on height before values. Emotional connection and share goal can lead to superficial dating and constant disappointment. What I would challenge ladies to do is think about like the worst person that maybe think of 2 or 3. The worst people who have hurt you, who have disappointed you. And it's not a correlation, but I would just say consider their height. Did their height did not make them a better person?
Right.
Fix it, Jesus. Number 4. We're getting beat up today.
So it is a double standard.
There is a double standard, because I would get offended if the man says I only want to date. They put some men like want an athletically built woman. Everybody don't want a thickums like you do. But some women, some men, want, even if it's race, some men want blonde hair, blue eyes. That is their preference. So we would talk about that, but then we would only date taller men.
Right. So if women were losing their men because of those reasons, you guys would talk about us bad. I mean, like, can you believe this? Dating this snow bunny.
Because preference is a preference, but you have to. I'm becoming more self-reflective in this thing. So there is a double standard. We concede that there is a double standard. Yeah. And tall doesn't mean high value.
No.
Meaning it doesn't mean that they are loyal. They are, their whole spirit is not out of them.
May not be productive. There's a lot of tall people over 6 foot. Probably used to ball 6'5", 6'9", still living on their mother's couch.
It must be a long couch. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I have to this
too soon, fellas. I'm sorry.
This has been a heavy episode because really, we women spend a lot of time bashing men, checking men do this, but to really, I was preparing for this episode to really do a self, and this is stuff that I'm guilty of. It is problematic at best, and there's an opportunity for growth.
Yes, it is.
So we wanted to talk about we really didn't have a question of the week, did we?
We did not have a question of the week. We're going to forego the question of the week, but we're going to take a quick minute to talk to drop some Jews on the YN. So as we mentioned earlier on in the episode, we're noticing that a large segment of our viewing populations are young people, surprisingly,
Yeah.
from the ages of 25 to 44. So we've decided that going forward, we want to have a quick 30 to 45-second, conversation with the young people to encourage them.
I think it's an opportunity. One, I want to say thank you to those who are watching.
Yes.
Obviously, you're getting some value from the content that we have there, because relationships are really at universal any age. We're speaking about over 50.
Yes.
But the good thing is that you guys who are younger have an opportunity to make some adjustments and get things right and learn from some of our issues,
some of our mistakes.
Case in point, selecting only men of a certain height.
Yes, that's correct. And so today I want to kind of hone in on the YNs, those young fellas who are, maybe have kids out there, maybe a single father. I was once a single father myself. And if I had somebody in my ear to kind of tell me, to show me the ways, I probably would have done things a lot differently and better as a father. But I just want to say that, first of all, I see you, and that you are chosen for this moment to be a legacy in your son or your daughter's life. All right. So to that, I want to tell you to stay connected to your child. Try to make things good with your baby's mother. Focus on the child. Stay in the game. Don't give up. Stay connected. Your child needs you. And, being connected to your child is going to make the world a difference to them. So just stay connected, be the father that you are, keep growing, and just do your best. And I'm here to encourage that.
Beautiful. I think that's very beautiful. We again thank you for everyone tuning in with us. This has been a very challenging episode for me. But again, we have a series. There are more, so I'm gonna be back on the hot seat.
So there are more questions that Black men want to know about women. So that's just one of them. It's going to get. Are you ready? Can you handle this?
I guess.
Because you're representing the women, but we want women to weigh in on the chats. Help your girl out, 'cause right now, like, she kind of drowning.
I'm struggling. I'm drowning.
She drowns.
And so I need my sisters out there to really talk about your experiences, and really, if this episode helped you, how it changes your perspective. And Lord, I can't take no more.
Yeah. All right. So always with our episode, we want to always end our closing with
love again, embrace growth, and journey on.
Thank you.